Welcome back, everybody, for another update on construction projects going on around the Disneyland Resort. And we're starting today off in the land formerly known as Bugs Land, where we're soon to get Marvel Land. And what we're looking at right here is a partial destruction of the building formerly known as Bugs Life Theater. And what you're seeing there is basically the mural portion of the building that fronts the larger building, and behind, in back of that, you can see that kind of cloudscape going on back there. Let's take a look at what it looked like right after they put the walls up, historic industry walls, and you can see, actually, you know what? You can't see. Let me get back in there. That's that mural that has, the sort of faux grass and field, whatever you want to call it, where the bugs live. And that was actually a building, it looks like, that, included that mural. And that has been taken down. And I'm stopping here first because news is broke, and we're going to be getting to this in more detail on Fresh Bake Presents, hopefully by tomorrow. News is broke that we've got some sort of idea of what kind of attraction is going to be going in that building, and sort of a vague understanding also of what to look forward to in the rest of Phase 1 of Marvel Land. Phase 1 being essentially Bugs Land turned into Marvel Land. So stay tuned for that on Fresh Bake Presents. But just, for our purposes, that is our current progress. That is our current progress so far on Marvel Land in Bugs Land. Observable progress, anyway. Now, before we head over to Disneyland, I wanted to take a quick stop here at the back lot also, or Hollywood Boulevard, to update on the animation building, which is curious. I'm not sure if I got to this in previous updates, but this was under Scrim a while back, from what I'm now observing or understanding to be just a paint job for the animation building, which is kind of curious because part of the discussion that Ian and I are going to have on Saturday's episode coming up is the future of this area vis-a-vis Marvel Land, and what's going to happen for Phase 2 basically. And this area is going to be affected by Phase 2. That is my understanding. It should be noted, by the way, that even though Phase 2 is happening, I believe, in the back lot and Hollywood Boulevard, portions of this land will remain, i.e. the red car trolley, as I understand it, is going to be staying. So we're not going to, even though we're getting a remodeled land, some of the features will be staying behind, which I don't know. that could be good for those who are fans of the red car trolley. Maybe not so good for folks who are hoping for something more organic, a more complete remodel, a more complete Marvel Land. Because one of the things that a lot of folks disapprove of, I would say, when it comes to remodeling lands, is that they tend to want to repurpose old buildings, and they try to fit things into those buildings rather than creating a fresh idea and building something from scratch. That, to me, creates a more complete experience from the whole spectrum of the process, between the blue sky imagining of that attraction or show or whatever, to building it to spec, as opposed to trying to fit a show into a building or fit an attraction into a building that already exists. Not my favorite thing, but we'll hope for the best on that note. Let's head over to Disneyland, where we're going to take a look at the Matterhorn and its updates. Here's the backside again, as usual. The views, as is often the case, the views are getting worse and worse as progress comes along. We're now 3 weeks away, and here's the front side, and we're going to stop right here on this bright sunny day to take a look at how things are today. What I mean by that is, before, when this project first started, and we'll look back on that, it was very easy to determine, well, easier to determine what were the areas, the lines of demarcation, as it were, what areas were being affected, what areas were not, what their plan was. And now, as we look at things again today, you can kind of see that it's, I can't even tell the old from the new in some cases. But like right here in the middle, where that, the planner is, if you'll recall, that used to be a much bigger planner, but it's starting to blend in with what they're working on now, I guess is what I'm saying. And those lines are being blurred a bit. It does look like the trees have been fully embedded into the ground there, and it looks like they're filling that in. Still unsure. I mean, you can see some forms. I'm assuming those are forms, right, for pouring concrete later? Or has the concrete already been poured? poured. That looks like a future planner also right there. And then the walkway, the pedestrian walkway, the guest walkway will be on that area to the right, I guess. Still no sign, though, you guys, of any kind of awning or covering, which is curious because, as mentioned, that there was a permit filed for a covering, for an awning at the Matterhorn. But so far, it looks like they're going very natural here, which, by the way, not a bad thing. I wasn't crazy about the idea of an awning to begin with. You can extend that queue if you want, but messing with the, I don't know, the visible footprint, I don't know what's the word, messing with the visuals of the Matterhorn seemed a little bit risky to me. So hopefully, maybe we're right. Maybe there is no awning coming. Maybe we're just going to get, a reshaped, a redesigned walkway for guests and more queue space without having to intrude upon some of our favorite views, just the way we see the Matterhorn. Imagine just things don't look like they used to. That always, man, it's hard for me. I've said that a lot when we're walking around the Matterhorn. Just the loss of a single tree causes me mental stress. And we'll continue again for just that brief moment as we switch sides closer to the Matterhorn queue. And again, it's kind of the same. We can't really tell what's happening. I don't think I have the camera pointed down as much as I usually do here. It looks like it's pointed more up so I can look at the Matterhorn queue and that planter area to the left of it. But those trees are blocking quite a bit of our observation of the area. But again, that looks like it's just not a lot of space. I'm looking at this section right here, and that is just not a lot of space for guests. That has to be the extension of the queue right there. That area, that is the queue extension. Probably a switchback or two. That is, instead of the sort of ad hoc way that they used to do it before, this is going to be permanent and committed queue space, I'm guessing. So the walkway is going to be the area, the guest walkway is going to be the area to the left of that area that looks like it's already had, I don't know if those are forms waiting for concrete or if the concrete's already been poured. It's hard for me to tell. But that is my my guess there. And we'll continue. Most of the scaffolding is down on this side of the Matterhorn, you can see here. So that's good news. Let's head over to Adventureland, to the Tiki Room, where there is, again, no observable progress, in terms of that wall and what they might do to sort of make it like it was. But I will say this. We talked a bit about that, well, I called it wallpaper. The bamboo wallpaper, that makes that wall where, the Tiki Gods were and where that lovely lanai garden was. I had said that's new. They put in some sort of bamboo wallpaper to sort of, help with creating more immersion, I guess, while they're in the middle of this renovation. But I've had more than one person tell me that is the same wallpaper that was there before. I mean, it's not quite wallpaper. I use that term loosely, but that bamboo wall was just like that before. Now, I do have some video, and there it is before, and that obviously is bamboo, but that looked more natural and real to me than its current state. And to show you again, this is how it looks now. And you know what? I'll be damned. That kind of does look the same now that I think about it. If you close inspection, looks like wallpaper, kind of like it. But from this distance, they both look like about the same kind of bamboo. So there you go. There you go, guys. If you were with me and you thought, gosh, what a cheap way to make the place look like a tiki wall, then it's the same level of cheap as before. I did not see that coming. Let's head over to Tropical Hideaway. Here's our long view. And today, well, you don't have any over-the-wall pictures, but we did get a pretty snazzy view through a little hole in the wall, through a knothole, proverbially. And there you go. And what you'll notice, by the way, this pan to the left right here, what you're seeing there, that's going to be dining or seating area plus the exit for the Tiki Room, if I'm not mistaken. That is an awning that's going to cover the exit of the Tiki Room. And guests will have the option to either exit back out into Adventureland or stick around and hang out in the Tiki or the Tropical Hideaway to have a treat. But as you see, as we start to pan to the right, actual construction is beginning. That guy for sure is going to construct something, but these guys are definitely constructing something. There's a guy lifting a piece of like a 2x4 right there, man. Well, not a 2x4, but you get what I'm saying. Let's get a closer look. Not of him, but of what they're doing back there. But yeah, they're putting up actual, that's new wall that they're building right there. Pretty nifty. He's going to carry that piece of wood over there. Very helpful. So that's kind of exciting. Now, we still worried about the end of the year guess or opening of this. I don't see that happening. I really don't. Small World. Small World gift shop is still under refurb, but they've taken the scrim down for some reason. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if it's because of the winds or what, but they still have the walls up but normally they don't leave that kind of they don't leave that kind of scaffolding uncovered, but they did. That's how it looked originally, and now it's not there. Let's end our update with the Clio parking structure. This was taken very early on Saturday morning. It's getting harder to find actual construction work happening because of where we're parking. It's hard to see. But this is, I mentioned before about the scope of the project and how wide it is. It's actually no less wide than the Mickey and Friends parking structure, which surprised me. If anything, it might even be smaller. That's how big the Mickey and Friends parking structure is. The parking structure we're observing right now is smaller. Obviously, in length size, as we observe it from this direction, but also in width. Crazy, right? That's just a close-up look of how a parking garage looks mid-construction. Cool. And here's a look at the Pedestrian Hub, the guest hub. Now, here's something interesting. Is my understanding. God, look how complete. Look at the concrete. They're getting there because this was one of the first things. I got to look for this. I don't have it ready today, but maybe next week. This was that area right now that we're looking at was where it began. All of this construction began there, but it is my understanding that guests will have to walk. If you park in Mickey and Friends, you're going to have to walk all that way. They're going to remove the escalators that we are in now. So we're going to have to go from here all the way down there and then take the escalator at that guest hub down here to pick up your tram. Wow. All right. Last week I promised to come down to the end of the Mickey and Friends parking structure to look at that walkway that they were built, or not the walkway, the connector between the Clio and Mickey and Friends parking structure. So I did. I've never been back here before, but this is how it looked. I thought it was higher. I thought it was a level up higher than we are, but it's not. It's the same. It's at the same level that the other connector is. But here's a view from the back side of the parking structure, Clio, to the front. It looks like a twin, right? It looks like a twin of Mickey and Friends. It's so crazy. Coming back. Oh no. Okay, so that's the connector way back there, and now we're at the connector on the forward side of the parking structure, and you can see we're getting up close and personal with some rebar right there. They're ready to build. I bet you by this coming weekend, we'll see the first stages of this final level of the parking structure. I mean, I could almost touch that rebar. Almost. Not quite. And then we'll close once again with another look at the guest hub. And it's really, almost. It looks almost done. Those two levels there. I wonder what they're doing with the first two levels, and I wonder when we're going to start seeing some construction on the bridge. Let's look out for that. Thanks for watching, guys. We love you very much. Hope you enjoyed the updates. We'll see you next week. Bye. We've got lots more videos for you to see, so grab a churro and check out some of our other videos and have your mind blown by how much fun we're having. We truly are the best of Disney Bake Fresh Daily. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time. fresh baked.